By now, everyone knows that the 5 Memphis, Tennessee police officers are being charged with the murder and death of Mr. Tyree Nichols. These 5 men, Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills Jr., Emmett Martin, Justin Smith, and Tyrese Bean. These 5 men are being charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, and official oppression. These charges could put these guys away for the rest of their lives. The director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, David Roach, said this was criminal. What happened here does not at all reflect proper policing. This was wrong. This was criminal. And I need everyone to understand that. Now, full disclosure about me. I'm a security officer, and I work for a law enforcement agency. I'm employed through them. I won't say which one, just out of confidentiality. I've been on this job for almost a year now, and I have nothing but the greatest respect and pride of what I do in wearing the uniform. Hell, I've investigated the possibility of me becoming a police officer with this agency. Not because I want to carry the badge and gun, not because it might make me look cool wearing a Stetson, but because I believe in what we do, what these men and women do on the streets or wherever they're assigned. I believe in the words serve and protect. Like I said, I want to become a police officer with the agency I'm working for, after working with these men and women. Even though I'm 40 years old, my knees are nearly shot, my ankles hurt every time I run, and thanks to my previous COVID experience last year, my lungs are probably screwed up to the point where I can run barely 1 mile without almost feeling like I'm going to pass out. But I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to take the chance. And over the course of the last year, I've met so many amazing people in law enforcement. Now, again, I've been a security officer most of my employed life, but in the last almost year, I had the opportunity of meeting some amazing people. Some of them have very unusual senses of humor, but I appreciate and I honor what these men and women go through day in and day out. Every time they go on the streets or stand a post, they're walking targets. They are watched by everybody, and I do mean everybody. Whether it's a CCTV camera, an ATM camera, a a, um, a camera by a tourist, or most importantly, a camera held in a hand as in a cell phone camera. Everything we do right and everything we do wrong is captured, is watched. So they understand the risks they take. If they make a mistake, they make a mistake. And it's probably caught on camera. And contrary to a lot of cops that we've seen over the years, Derek Chauvin being one of them, they had the guts to say, I made a mistake. It won't happen again. We'll learn from this, even if that mistake could be incredibly fatal. But here's the question I have. But the thing is, they all also understand where my stance is when it comes to police officers who cross the line. They should understand. Just because I'm pro-cop doesn't mean I'm going to wash my hands or turn a blind eye to something like this in Memphis, something like what happened in Minneapolis, something that a police officer did on the call of authority in Oklahoma City. I'm not going to turn a blind eye to that. I can't. For two reasons. And one of those reasons is not because I'm African American myself, although that may have a big part in it. I also, but the two reasons are: one, personal responsibility and accountability. If you can't be responsible and understand that if you make mistakes and accept the accountability of those mistakes, you don't deserve to wear the badge. And secondly, because as I said earlier, everything you do is being watched as a police officer. Everything. If you can't hold up to that kind of scrutiny when things go wrong or things go the wrong way in any possible scenario, it doesn't even have to be a life-threatening scenario. If you can't handle that kind of scrutiny, then you have no business wearing the badge. If you can't handle some kid on the street holding a cell phone camera because he's watching a police officer do this, that, or the other, even if it's saving a life or if it's taking one, if you can't hold on to that kind of scrutiny, you don't belong on the force. Because you're going to be watched, poked, and pried like you've never done before. When you save someone's life, when you stop a school shooter, a mass shooter, you're going to be scrutinized. You'll come through it because you did the right thing by taking a mass shooter down, but you're still going to be scrutinized. When you do something wrong, when you don't take down a mass shooter, like the cops in Irvindale, Texas, you're going to be scrutinized like never before. If you can't handle that kind of scrutiny, then you have no business being on the force. Please don't misunderstand me, law enforcement officers who are watching this video. I'm not out to take down cops. I'm not out to eliminate police officers. I'm out to make sure that police officers stay safe on the job and they make sure the communities, everyone stays safe. I want to make sure that the laws are being followed by police officers because you guys, officers, troopers, agents, you guys are the front lines between the rest of society, the law-abiding, the peaceful, and the criminals. Now, tomorrow, Friday, December 27th, we're supposed to see the body camera footage and the cell phone footage of what happened in Memphis. I don't think I want to watch that. And I don't think you do too. And I don't think you should. Because it's going to bring up some very bad things. One of the member of the media said this reminded him, of the Rodney King beating back in the 1990s in Los Angeles. I know that temperatures are going to get hot, so there are three groups of people that I want to give a message to. The primary one, is the Black Lives Matter, BLM. I know you're planning marches. I know you're planning demonstrations. I implore you, I beg you from my soul, stay peaceful. Do not destroy property because your message is going to be lost in the chaos you bring. In 2020, they weren't talking about George Floyd. They were talking about the Summer of Love, the riots. The message is going to get lost. We won that fight, mind you. George Floyd's killer was convicted, although he's appealing in state court. He was proven guilty in a court of law. And he's spending the rest of his life and hopefully the rest of his life in prison, whether it's state prison or federal prison. But when you decide to destroy property, when you decide to turn a peaceful protest into a riot, you have lost. Our cause is justice under the law, not vigilantism. Our cause is accountability under the law, not what happened on January 6, 2021. We're better than that. Show that we're better than that. My second group of people I want to talk to are law enforcement agencies across the country. I know that temperatures are hot, and you're trying to stand up for your fellow officers in Memphis. Don't do that. The blue wall is perhaps the one thing that is one of the biggest problems in this country when it comes to situations like this. Something goes wrong, you throw up the blue wall of silence. No, don't. The blue wall is part of the problem. Every single time. See, what I said earlier about accountability, you're not doing these cops any favors by trying to hide what they did or explain away what they did. You're just making things 10 times worse for them, for us, for you. These 5 men are done. But it's not only the fact that they murdered someone in cold blood by beating him almost both to death, but by what they did, they put your lives at risk. If you decide to try to explain it away, try to cover it up, trying to blame the victim, don't. Because they're putting your lives at risk too. Because that screwed up, fouled up a perception of cops in this country is taking way too many hits. Growing up, I look at police officers. I mean, I know the history of racism in this country. I never experienced that growing up. And you're talking to a guy who grew up in the South, Kentucky, Tennessee, areas of Georgia, Alabama. I never experienced racism before in my country until now, until most recently, as in the last 10, 20 years. As a kid, I looked at police officers and my family. My family told them, respect cops. Mainly because some members of my family were in law enforcement as well in some way or another. As I said earlier, law enforcement has been taking the credibility, let me put it this way, of law enforcement and the criminal justice system are taking extremely destructive hits to the point where people don't want to be cops anymore. People don't want to be state troopers. People don't want to become federal agents. People don't want to wear the badge of the gun. People don't want to protect and serve. You want to repair the credibility of law enforcement in this country? Stop covering it up with the blue wall. The blue wall is supposed to be there to stand by officers, not to cover up murder, not to cover up extreme crimes. Don't misuse the blue wall, or the blue wall will crumble, not because of the citizens in this country or the criminals, because of law enforcement officers not taking responsibility, for what they have done. And the third group of people that I need to talk to about this before I close out this video is the media. The mainstream media, the local media, all of it. Social media, all of it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox News, CNN, Newsmax, MSNBC, all of them. Be responsible with this. Do not jump to conclusions. Don't allow anyone else to jump to conclusions. These people, these 5 men are going to trial. You will inflame the situation if you jump to conclusions as to if they are proven innocent or found guilty. And it's unfortunate in this country that we eat it up, and me especially, me included. I'm not gonna single myself out, leave myself out of it. It's unfortunate that we, as Americans, we eat that stuff up. We we jump to conclusions as to what Don Lemon said or what Tucker Carlson said. We need to deal with this upon the facts. The facts and the facts only. Not a misinterpretation of what the facts are, but the facts as it is argued in the court of law, not the court of public opinion. So, this is how I'm going to end this video. As a man who works around law enforcement officers, I have nothing but the greatest, utmost respect for those people. They stand on the wall. They stand in the streets. They drive around cruisers. They become walking targets every single day they go on duty. For any idiot who wants to take a shot at police officers, they keep me safe, and I know I can count on them. They keep you safe, and you should be able to count on them. If you can't, ask them why. The only way that law enforcement can do its job is is cooperation with the community. And the only way the community can feel safe is cooperation by law enforcement. These 5 men have done extreme damage to that bargain. I don't even want to call it a bargain, with that partnership. Police officers like these 5 men, like Derek Chauvin, like so many other police officers who use their badge and their gun, their nightstick, who use the law to break the law, often with fatal results, are the danger to the community, not only to regular citizens, but to law enforcement itself. They damage the credibility and their ability to do their jobs with honor, pride, and dignity. That is why I want to become a police officer. Because I solely believe that if the right kind of people get the job of becoming police officers, becoming state troopers, becoming federal agents, that we will heal the damage of what law enforcement has been done by men like this. Call me naive if you want. Call me pie in the sky if you need to. But something has to change. Because if it's not, more incidents like this will happen and more cops will be put at harm's way because of it. CTP Know The Truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.